Hey, what's up? In this video, it's a very special occasion. We're going to tell you how you can get a tech job. Isn't that right, Pixel? Air, and air again. But less, and less each time. It's a lot like dating. There'll always be a more attractive girl out there. There'll be a more attractive job. You won't know which one is right until you just make it. Well, the employers will always be looking at other candidates. There'll always be someone who's flashier than you, been to an Ivy League school, etc. I learned a lot from making failures, and then improving upon those failures. I kept track. I actually still have this same spreadsheet with my job applications, like 6 years later. I've applied to a lot of jobs. I've started applying at insurance companies because I was an actuarial analyst. You can look at the dates, like 10/30, 10/14, basically every couple days. And then I would track. Okay, Liberty Mutual. I applied to an intern position, got a phone screen, and then failed the interview. Blue Cross Blue Shield, internship rejected. So like I was applying to like 10 positions. I might get 2 video interviews. Out of those 2 video interviews, I would get a handful of like on-site interviews. This happened a lot of times. A lot of the companies I applied to, I was actually learning about the industry. I researched what the company was, if it was on the Fortune 500 list, how many employees it had, what its services was. Taught me a lot about business, also about, this happened a lot of times. A lot of the companies I applied to. All right. Next slide. More failures. More failures. More failures. I was actually learning about the industry. I researched what the company was, if it was on the Fortune 500 list, how many employees it had, what its services was. Taught me a lot about business, also about just doing sales, selling yourself. My first cover letter was really, really long. I get bored. Just reading this. Be a myth. More effective to let others talk about you in a good way and focus instead on your real achievements, things. Yeah, it's generally not a good idea to say that you're a hard worker or to praise yourself, because that implies that you're covering up for something. It's much more effective to let others talk about you in a good way and focus instead on your real achievements, things that you've accomplished. That being said, one thing I do say is that I'm a good communicator. That's because I'm in a tech field. Many people have like saying that you're a good communicator. The fact that you write all this out and say what your experience is, even though it seems unimportant or insubstantial, demonstrates that you can speak English fluently. You are able to present and organize in a coherent manner. And I'll look at Pixel. It's just a big... and, you don't have crazy ADD, right? You're able to focus. You're someone who they'd want to talk to and get to know better. First resume, right here. My first resume, I didn't have any work experience. Well, no. When I applied to my real corporate job, I had worked part time in college. I'd worked at Staples computer office store and at a park doing maintenance using leaf blowers, um, driving around little golf carts. Um, uh, that's I had also built computers. I'd play games. If I was to do this today, if I had no experience, I would talk about being a pet owner, owning a cat, going to vet appointments, um, making sure she has food and shelter. My first headshot. Everyone starts off like this. I I had bad acne. I was shy, introverted, but I didn't let that stop me. I learned that job hunting is like dating. Being boring and unattractive is as bad as being unskilled. When you're working in tech, your skills, what you can do on a code program, if you're in consulting, your ability to speak. If you are in management, your ability to lead people. Or if you're Pixel, your ability to be adorable. Those are the things that really matter. Interviews are like dates. Failure is inevitable. Attractiveness, charm, charisma, physical, mental awareness. Those are key. Oh my gosh. Wow. No one... I gotta give her some treats. Communication skills are key. Preparation is no different than genius. That's what Winston Churchill said. It's true. If you ace an interview and you've prepared a week for it, you've learned all about the company, maybe you used flashcards to memorize the interview questions, and you compare yourself to someone who had a better background than you, they could not perhaps tell the difference. No one really trusts what you say, only your actions and past history. That's also somewhat true. You have to be honest. If you're dishonest in an interview, it will eventually catch up to you. Health and strength matter. Stronger employees are better in front of clients, can get sick less often, can work longer hours under stress, so forth. Interviews are a lot like dates. Failure is inevitable. Well, what do you really call failure, right? Failure, think of it as hot or cold. There are degrees to success. Attractiveness, charm, charisma, physical, mental awareness matter. Communication skills are key. Preparedness is no different than... Yeah, okay, I already talked about this. LinkedIn is basically OkCupid, or now it's Hinge or Tinder, whatever. Well, nobody trusts profile pictures, especially with AI and Photoshop. Resumes and LinkedIn only get interviews. Right? Like, the best that you can do for applying to a job is to just get the interview. After you get the interview, then it's another game. So do whatever you have to do to get your resume reviewed, looked at, to be invited in. And like, obviously, sometimes offers are made online after doing like a virtual interview. That was the case for me when I worked with Expedia, but that was a special situation because I was relocating. if I had been in the same city, I would have gone. Um, but I didn't necessarily disclose that. I said that I was still in Austin when I was in Massachusetts. Now, I'd been on sabbatical for a few months. Um, um, when you are finding someone or finding a job or finding a person, they are going to not just look at your LinkedIn. Well, yeah, most of the time they're just going to look at your LinkedIn profile and what you present. Um, the only real purpose of doing like research about someone online is to find out um, what skills you have in common. Like if you both worked at the same company a while ago, um, that's good. It just comes across as weird and creepy if you do like if you suddenly know something about the person when no, that's not actually. Yeah. It's best to um, talk about. It's okay to research someone's professional achievements. Like if they're in the news, they publish an article on like Google Scholar. If they're on Twitter, those are like okay to research. But I'm not going to look at someone's. No, and it's true. Anything is public. Your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram, like everything. You have to imagine that anything you do online could be and will be read by someone in HR, your future boss. But it goes both ways. You can also research the company, like looking at um, Instagram and looking for like life at insert company name is a great way to learn about employees, their culture, what types of jobs you'd fit into. What are the factors to a successful date? Well, listening, understanding the other's needs, mutual interest, so that both parties can be better off. Interviews are two ways. You are interviewing the job employer as much as they're interviewing you. Job offers are like marriage proposals. You need to show long-term commitment. Both parties need to see a benefit. Once you're hired, your identity reflects your employer. Always consider the other person's interests first. Don't say, what can I get out of the job? Say, what can I bring to the job? What skills do I offer? Employee, well, the main thing that you get is a paycheck. Also benefits. The employer increases their revenue, their profit. They do that as increasing their revenue and decreasing their costs. You need to show how you can either increase revenue or decrease costs. For example, I can create PowerPoint presentations quickly, reducing costs because higher paid employees can work on other costs. Or I can refactor SQL code so that it is easier to debug and will free up our data scientists to work on machine learning tasks. that would be an example of decreasing costs, because it would you would have a lower hourly billed rate than the higher up, the data scientist in this case. Can also increase revenue, but that's more like different story. What did I do to improve? Well, what can you do to improve? First of all, you should watch my videos. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about programming, data science, visualization, how to create different types of graphs, SQL programming, R programming, predictive analytics. Watch all my videos. Invest in a good suit. Spend at least $700. Appearance is key, because it shows that you're putting in an effort, and it's also how you present yourself in a job interview is it affects people. It's a nonverbal communication. You're being judged by an approved physical posture, right? Diet, exercise, sleep optimization, cutting out TV, random internet, self-improvement, all of those things work to improve yourself. Also, practice communication, how you present yourself. You should have a website, a LinkedIn profile, a resume, a business-focused Twitter. If you're working in tech, a YouTube channel probably. You got to have multiple computers. If you're doing coding, if you're an app developer, you should have several phones. Just I play music, right? I have a guitar here. I have an amplifier. I have all these pedals. Well, that's part of the trade, right? Is just having the tools. I have 3 computers, a work from home setup, a bunch of online software tools, probably thousands of dollars of software, but I've built that up over time. You don't get there all at once. You have to slowly hone your craft. This is an old resume. Current resume, well, if you're just starting out, it might look something like this. For tech jobs, obviously, put whatever is most important first. Your name. Your name is the most important thing about you, because that's your identity. That's how they remember you. And then your address. Are you located close to where their office is? Then you can either put your education or your experience. I put my skills first. I have skills, experience, then education. That's because I've spent most of my time in the industry. 6 years of experience as a data analyst, programming in Python, in R. I have built up expertise to become proficient in these areas by working at, obviously Expedia, passed my exam, which was my own company. Before that, Milliman and Telescript, Willis Towers Watson, other companies, and I could basically make an entirely another video just talking about how to tailor your resume to tech. Mine's 2 pages now. When I applied to the job, though, I just keep adding to it, just like kind of as a hobby. It's always good to have a resume in the background. When I applied, though, it was just one page. Uh, Headshot. Yeah. Pay for a professional headshot. It's totally worth it. Um, get something that's relevant, that's current. Don't use the one from 3 years ago. Um, use something that's accurate, that actually looks like you. Um, Even if it's like a Facebook photo, if it's a cropped Facebook photo, uh, something where you're that other people think is a good picture of you. It's best if you're wearing professional clothing, um, like a nice dress or a suit, um, a blazer. Blazers are great. Um, Cover letters are important. Um, every job application that you're serious about should have a cover letter. Don't use, this cover letter template starts off by saying how you learned about the position. It's okay if you say, I was just searching online and I found it, or, but it's better to say, I met so and so, at a career fair, at a career event, and we just started talking, and then he mentioned that there is an opening and a job. That's better. Next would be if you're referred, actually, that's the best. The best is if you're referred by a current employee of the company. Um, Often the job application will have a space for that. Um, it's important to not make it too self-centered. Um, you can do better by using you language, your team, this company. Um, Everyone has to promote themselves a little bit. Just don't do things like, I want to work for you, or I want a job. I need. It's just, be content. The best time to look for a job is when you have a job, because you don't need one, right? That's if you want, if you're just applying to, yeah. All right, this video is going on. Closing thoughts. Never ever show weakness to a recruiter or hiring manager. Why? Because that's their job, to sniff out weakness. It's different if you're talking to um, another peer. Sometimes they do peer interviews, and you can be like, I was kind of, nervous about the job. And they're like, oh, I was that way when I interviewed too. But if you do talk to someone in HR, you just have to show confidence, and fake it till you make it. Ask questions. Much of the advice that you get online is bad. Treat HR with the utmost respect. They are the gatekeepers. They can teach you things, they can give you insider secrets, how to impress the hiring manager. Learn SQL, Python, because these skills today are essential. These are more important than anything else you've learned in college. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Pixel says bye right now. She's crawling under the door, trying to escape this boring video. I think she wants to go back to her favorite hiding spot. All right. Until next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Leave a comment to help the algorithm make this more visible. Publish it, share it to your social networks. Spread the positive vibes